Hello everyone, it's the lighting collector here, and today we are outside at my new street lighting display. And the first light to get attention here is my very first street light I ever collected 2 years ago, this 1975 Westinghouse OV-400, which, if you haven't heard of that before, that's because this is the OV-15 obviously, but it has a 400 watt mercury vapor ballast in it, and it also comes with an arm, which I'm using over here on my General Electric Form 400. I figured this would look a little bit better on the longer arm, so that's what I put it on. The arm in question is a 6-foot utility metals galvanized steel 1¼ inch pipe arm for wood pole mounting. Obviously this is in a tree. And yeah, so going to give the overview of this street light and fire it up as well. So first I'm going to open it and show you the inside. There we go, it is open. As you can see, I have a little box on the top there. That's the box for the photocell I'm using actually. That way this thing will fire up since it's kind of light outside. So, it has a 400 watt mercury vapor ballast. It is an HX or HRA depending on what you call it, I don't really care. Both are technically correct. It's the original Westinghouse ballast, and then I'm using a 1982 Sylvania clear mercury vapor bulb that's an ED37 shape. So this fixture has 4-way glass and a 4-way reflector. That way it is a true area light, which is the point of this. So it's 120 volt only, and it actually has leads coming out of the ballast instead of a terminal block, so that anybody can wire it up. Because pretty much these were sold at electrical supply houses. Granger had these, and many other places like that. This was intended for residential use, so mainly like on farms or even light commercial use. I've seen these on various applications like that. And yeah. So we will get this thing closed and fired up. So an interesting thing about these lights is that despite being a small fixture, these are actually quite large. This is significantly larger than my Form 400, which most small fixtures are about the same size as those clamshells, roughly. I mean, a little bit bigger, but barely. And this is actually bigger than a Model 125, a Model 25 from ITT, the second and third generation Unistyle 400s, because I believe the first gen was actually bigger, almost as big as the OV-25. This is bigger than Cooper OVD, I believe it's in an OVF, OVY, all the small fixtures. It is bigger than a Unidor 400 as well, so it's bigger than a lot of things. So One downside to doing these videos outside is I don't have a backyard fence, so everybody in the front and back of my house can see what I'm doing, so it's slightly embarrassing, but it's just whatever. Don't really talk to my neighbors, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, as I was saying, it's bigger than just about everything that was competing with the OV-25. The OV-25 is bigger than a lot of 1,000 watt fixtures, as well as every medium fixture pretty much, so it's pretty wild. So, yeah, these are pretty big fixtures. So that being said, the only thing they had to do is just set back the socket to accommodate a 400 watt bulb. The ballast, as you saw, fits perfectly fine in here. So this is actually a perfect, this could be just a regular 400 watt cobrahead, honestly. This could have been used on city roads, but the ballast options were limited. You couldn't get a CWA and you couldn't get any voltages higher than 120, so they were very limited in that regard. That's pretty much at full brightness now. You can see the detail of the glass. This uses the same glass that, roughly the same, at least the same glass pattern as OVZs, OVGs, technically they're just OVZs anyway, and 115s, 113s, Model 13s, 13000s, and M250 R2s, R1s, and M250Rs. So mostly, pretty much all the small fixtures, for the most part, actually use the same glass. I believe it also works on a Unistyle 250 and a Unidora 250. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's fired up. I don't really feel like going up there and opening it while it's on, because that's already really bright and it's still light outside. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it off so you can see the little afterglow, which on these 400 watt lamps is pretty cool looking. And there you have it. That's my 1975 Westinghouse OV-400 streetlight. This, like I said, is the very first streetlight I ever collected. I actually drove over an hour to get this, and yeah, it just came from a farm, so it was just a private light, and that's how I'm using it as well. So super neat. I really like the way it looks on this arm, and it lights up the area well, but actually, surprisingly, even with its four-way optics, does not spill very much light in people's yards or houses, so it's actually not as intrusive as I expected it to be, although it does shine right on my dad's window, but otherwise the neighbors don't get bothered by it, which is impressive. I thought it would be a little bit more intrusive, but I guess not. Maybe it's just where it is. But anyway, that's about it. I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you for watching.